Welcome, in front of me is a Samsung Galaxy A71, and today I'll show you a couple of tweaks and tricks that you can do on this device. So we're going to begin with the most useful one, which is the gesture navigation, and this will simply allow you to remove these buttons from the bottom right here and substitute them for actual gestures. Now, previously if you used Samsung, they supposedly had gestures, but all it did is made the buttons into swipe buttons, so instead of having them like visible like that, they were just 3 different bars on the bottom that you have to swipe up on them, which was basically the same thing, just a different function of the different use of the buttons that already existed. But this time around with the Android 10, they finally made it to have actual gesture navigation. So to get it enabled, you want to go into the settings and then display right here, and from display we should see navigation bar. And you can see it right here, full screen gesture. So tap on that and it's substituted. Now you can see only one bar right now, and the way it functions is you swipe it up quickly, it closes, you swipe up and hold, it goes to recent, and then you have swipe from the sides to go back. Now you can see that whenever I swipe back there's an arrow appearing, so this is the swipe back. Now recent and home, like so. So that is how you would enable the gesture navigation. And now let's move on. We're gonna go into the dark mode, which, as you see right now, the notification panel is, well, fully white. Kind of blasts your eyes with whiteness, especially if you're using the device at night. It's really harsh. So to change it, we can go into the display again, and from here we have the dark mode option, like so. And I also believe that there is a toggle mode for, there it is, dark mode, the moon. So you can toggle it on and off quickly, like so. Or you can also set up a I think you can set up when it's turning on automatically, which is also a nice feature. So let's go back. I'm gonna switch to light mode. It's a little bit better on the camera in my opinion. Yeah. So moving on, we're gonna go into the options for edge panel, which is, not sure if you can see, there is a tiny little edge right there. This weird thing that pops out. If you slide on it, it takes out the edge panel. From here you have access to a couple different widgets by default. You have certain apps, compass, and basically a screenshot tool. And each one of them you can customize. So for instance, here you can add apps. You can disable this. You can go into the settings right here, and also you will have additional things you can add in there, remove. So you can add weather as an example, some kind of reminders, clipboard, whatever you want. And also, if that's not enough for you, always have the Galaxy Store where you can find additional ones past the ones that are already here. So now if you pull the notification or the edge panel, as we have added weather, there it is, though I have to allow it to, let's see, let's quickly connect to some Wi-Fi so I have something to show. There we go. So now I should be able to connect to weather, right? Okay. Okay, so once you set up the weather, now if you pull it out, there we go, it shows you the weather. And you can continue to swipe on them. You can remove most of them if you wish to by just going in here again into the settings and disabling ones that, for instance, you don't want. So there we go, now there should be only 2 of them. So let's just get rid of that, and you can see there's only 2 pages now. Okay. Now, next thing that I'm going to show is the adaptive sound, and this is a super handy tool in my opinion. I won't be actually able to show you so you can hear it, how it affects it in any way, but if you go through the setup process of this with your headphones, you will have the idea what it does. So number one, just to show it. We're gonna go into the settings again and then into sound and vibration, scroll down, and sound quality and effects. And from here we have the adapt sound, tap on that, and by default, just allow it. By default you have a couple pre-made ones, so you have under 30, 30 to 60, and 60 and over. And you can choose which category you fall under as an age. And for me it will be the under 30, and it's fairly similar to what would the custom one create. But for instance, you might be a little bit different. Your case or how you hear is most certainly different, for instance, than mine. So you can go to add personal sound profile and then start. And like I said, I won't be able to show it. I don't have headphones connected to this, but basically what it will do is give you a sound test. So you have to have fairly decent headphones and be in a quiet environment. And once you are, you go to this the test, and it plays you really quiet sounds on a left or right ear. And you have to answer if you can hear it or not. And depending on what you choose, it basically readjusts the equalizer to fit your specific hearing, and then creates a full equalizer out of that. And it really, in my opinion, improves the sound quality of what you're listening to, considering it's tailored to your specific hearing. So once you create it, you just want to select it like these are. It will just create a new one there, and choose the one that you have created, and you will hear the difference immediately in whatever music you're listening to. You can even play music and keep switching between them on the go to hear what kind of difference it makes. Yeah. So moving on, we're gonna go into separate app sound, which is additional thing associated with the sound, but this time this thing allows you to basically lock a specific app to play through a specific sound source. So if you, for instance, have headphones, you can lock a music player just to be able to play music through headphones and nothing else. So for instance, if you don't plug headphones and you by mistake, for instance, press a play, it will not play out loud the music. So if you're, for instance, in a public transportation, you won't start blasting your music just because you forgot to plug your headphones or something like that. So it's a fairly nice feature in my opinion. So to enable it, we'll go to settings and again sound and vibration, and from here let's scroll down and you have the separate app sounds. Okay, and number one, you want to turn it on like so, and then select, and here you select the app that you wish to be locked. So I can, for instance, select YouTube as an example, then I can go back, and here it gives you the two options. So you can either play it through Bluetooth audio or phone. So I can just choose Bluetooth audio, and now YouTube won't be able to play sound from anything apart from the Bluetooth audio. So that is how you would set that up. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna go into the always on display, which I'm pretty sure it's enabled by default, but as a top, I think, or there it is. So you can see that it pops up only when you single tap on the display, as when it's locked, nothing happens until you tap on it. Now there's a couple things that you can customize with this, so let's go into it. Number one, let's go into the settings, and from here we're gonna go into screen lock or lock screen right there, and you have the always on display right there, and then you have three options on how it works. So tap to show always, or show as a schedule. Choose which one you want. For instance, show always will, if I lock it, it's gonna appear on itself and be there always. And as a schedule, you can set a specific time where it will be showing. So you will have start to end time at which it's showing. And then you have also clock styles, which brings up all the kind of styles that you can change it. As you see, whenever I tap it, it shows you how it will look. Certain ones you actually have to have some image added. As you can see, this one will allow you to add a GIF. So there's a plethora of choices that you can add here. And this is, I think, wallpaper or something along those lines. Okay, so cancel. And you have also show music information, rotate screen to portrait, you have a couple options on how it displays the always on display. Now moving on, I'm gonna go into a one that is fairly minuscule, but still it's in my opinion a must enable, which is the show password option, and it's, well, counterintuitive. It actually will allow you to hide the password. And what I mean by that is if I go into any place where I actually need to type in a password, as you will see, there's always a latest letter I have pressed visible in there. And I'm most certainly not a fan of that. So to disable that, you can actually go into the settings, and then we're gonna go into biometrics and security right here. And let's go down to other, and at the top you will see make password visible. Disable that, and now if we go back to anywhere where you need to type in a password, you can see that there is immediately a dot and there's no letter visible in the line until you press the look button right there to show the password actually. Yeah. So moving on, we're gonna go into smart pop-up view, which is just a, I would say, improved version of split screen, which I'm also gonna go into split screen as well. But assuming you have some kind of app open, I'm gonna choose YouTube as an example because it's, in my opinion, one of the best options that you can use this for. So when you go into the recent, let's go to YouTube, tap on the icon right there, and you will have open and pop-up view. And it opens it up in like a window, a small one, but still a window. And on top of that, let me just mute the sound like so. And for instance, I can choose some video. I can also resize this to be extremely small. Give it a moment for the ad to roll out. There we go. And you can see that there's a video playing right now, right? I can completely move that to the side, and I can also do other stuff. And the benefit of this thing over the split screen is there are certain apps, maybe not on the Samsung one, but I'm pretty sure other devices have incompatibilities with certain apps, for instance, like photos. Now this isn't the case in Samsung when you're using split screen, but there might be additional apps, for instance, if you download some from App Store, that will not be compatible in split screen. And if you have split screen enabled, for instance, YouTube playing on top, and you open that app, it will completely close the top app. And right here, as long as you don't actually go home, it won't minimize the window. So as you can see, if I do this, or actually I have to have something open to do this, it minimizes it into this app head. But if you do the same thing, but just with back button, it continues to play it, as you see now. So this can always be playing. You can open up different apps like photos, whatever, and you can listen to music, watch something in a tiny little window that is not really obstructing your entire screen, and you basically can multitask with it. Now, if you want to have split screen, you can actually enable it the same way as you would enable the pop-up view. So let's open up recent again, and we can, I guess, again use the YouTube. So tap on the icon and open in split view. And the first tab that you open always goes to the top, and then it allows you to open up a second one. So I'm just gonna choose browser, and you can see now that there is the YouTube, there's the browser. You can also resize it, and you can use both apps at the same time, and also YouTube can play music or whatever while you're doing other stuff, and it won't pause whatever it is playing like it normally would when you go home. And also, if you swipe up, it minimizes it like so, but it will continue to play whatever it's playing there. So that's also nice. Okay, so now we're gonna go into another option that is fairly nice, which is the reduced animation. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much it reduces the animation, haven't really checked it, but it allows you to shorten all the animation. So if you go home, you see that like minimization of it. You go to recent, the sliding animation, opening up, it zooms the window, and all of that can be reduced. So we're gonna go into advanced. So I'm gonna bottom, I think it can be found. Advanced features, there we go. And from here we should see reduced animation. So tone down a motion effect of the screen. Let's enable that and let's get a look. It's minusculely quicker. It's barely noticeable in my opinion. But on top of that, there's actually another way that you can do it way better than whatever that setting you have here. So again, go into the settings about phone and we'll enable developer options. So it's going to be software information and you have build number. Tap on that 7 times till you get the message that you are now a developer. Let's go back to the main page and there's a new option, developer. So let's go into it, scroll down past halfway and you will find these 3 options right here. So you have window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animation duration scale. Each one of them corresponds to a different animation. So as an example, the first one, which is the window animation scale, will correspond to the quickness of the window that opens up with the options that I can change here. So this is the window. Now if I set it to time 10 as an example, you will see that it now is really slow. I can also set it to off and that will remove the animation for it. It just pops in and out of view without any kind of sliding animation. You can do that basically for everything. Although I would advise on keeping it at half speed instead of 1, which will be way quicker, basically twice as fast, but you will still have the animation so it won't look as jarring as it normally does. And you can see it is significantly faster than the reduced animation that Samsung provides. So just a nice option. Now moving on, we're gonna go into the game launcher, which at this moment I don't think there's any games to actually show. I don't have any games, but I will explain it anyway. So you have this up right here, game launcher, and if you play games, this is a nice way to keep it all organized and also improve the performance of the device while doing playing some kind of game. So when you open it up for the first time, you can agree to this. Let's just tap on start. And you get this pop-up right here. So hide games on the home and app screen. And this will allow you to keep all the apps in the game launcher itself and hide them from your home screen and app drawer. So if you have a lot of games, it won't be cluttering it up with along with other apps. So you can choose that, for instance, and cancel. We already have the app or the shortcut in the app drawer. And now you'll be able to find all your games right here. And you can launch them from here. You can also go into the settings. So if we go into the settings, you'll have additional options on how Game Launcher affects gaming and the entire phone itself, which is a nice feature if you want to improve your session. So this would conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I wanted to share. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.